Avalon Nightbrook drew her very first breath on a silver blue dawn, 21 May 1999, inside a weather-beaten cabin propped on fish crate palings above the opal sweep of Maine's Penobscot Bay. Outside, a harbor seal balanced like punctuation on a drifting log, while her mother, a road-roving Zydeco saxophonist, who tucks pressed lupine petals inside her reed rag, riffed a sleepy arpeggio that set chipped enamel pros humming against their hooks. Her father, a lighthouse optics mechanic who sketches cloud ospreys on bait invoices when schedules run late, leaned so close their freckles merged, and promised his newborn that doc gossip, classroom whispers, and clothing rails stopping at 14 would always shuffle aside for anyone brave enough to live in her outline all the way to its furthest curve. Curves have traveled the Nightbrook bloodline since a Prohibition-era aunt unraveled a lobster neck to sew speakeasy gowns, so nobody panicked when baby Avalon burst her second muslin swaddle before the teapot sighed. Granny Fern slid sailmaker thread through every tear, patched the gaps with carnival kite scraps, and said 3 thumb widths of extra cloth cost pennies, while squeezing a child could bankrupt an entire sunrise. Grade school hallways smelled of cedar shavings, blueberry buckle drifting from the lunch hatch, and briny gusts sneaking past warped sash. Avalon already rose half a head above her desk mates and blocked the overhead beam whenever she charted puffin islands on the pull-down map. One foggy recess, 2 kids hop-skipped circles, chanting ice scowl whenever her rubber boots slapped chalk paint. That evening, she patrolled the tide line, pocketed soda caps, sanded pearl by surf, threaded them on monofilament, stitched the rattling strand down her sea glass hoodie, and strode into homeroom at dawn, scattering prism freckles across blistered ceiling tiles. A substitute aide caught 9 shaky seconds on a prepaid phone, posted the shimmer to a newborn corner of the video web, and by midday, 15,000 strangers celebrated the girl who spun mockery into lighthouse spark. Avalon wrote one violet promise beside fraction drills. Clouds crowd only until you flash them bright enough to break. Weekends belonged to the Graynant Pier, where her mother's horn curls laced with diesel cost from lobster skiffs, skillet crackle from haddock stalls, and gulls lobbying for herring trim. Department store jeans stopped halfway, so Avalon swapped tip jar quarters for sun-bleached gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted a high-rise skirt, misted it with squid ink moon jelly silhouettes, then posed at tangerine sunset against rust-striped pilings while her cousin snapped grainy frames. Each photo drifted into an online diary she named Lantern Sweep, the week a fresh camera app slipped through patchy harbor coverage. The captions bounced between dock slang and clear truths like curves anchor gusts steadier than break walls. 2 months before, 16 candles, 53,000 unseen hearts, tapped little hearts beneath every coral frame, proof glowing rectangles, hush cafeteria razors faster than any phys ed whistle. A coastal systems scholarship lifted her to Boston's Northeastern University. Daylight disappeared in wave tank labs. Nights belonged to a 24-hour chowder wagon, glowing neon guava beneath salt-whipped pines. The heat lamp doubled as ring light. Between orders, she filmed 90-second reels, folding parchment into rose muscle barrettes while decoding dart rotation in half lecture zip and half shoreline hush. One upload laced polywool whistles under lo-fi shuffle while she chain stitched reflective anchor braid into thrifted denim. 47 hours later, the counter sprinted past 1.3 million. New England-style pages dubbed her the Chowder Couturière, yet every sponsored deck still quit at size 16. She slid each proposal into a folder called Shrinking Nets, dusted parsley flakes from her cuff, and smiled wide enough to catch dawn. Autumn Storm Drill Week brought an email emblazoned with the Columbia Sportswear Compass logo, inviting her to co-design a spray shell capsule called Backshore Pulse. Avalon answered with 3 peer short terms, patterns to 60-inch hips, half the creative crew hired from community college, sewing cohorts, and 10% of net profit pledged to saltmarsh planting from Gloucester to Graham and Ann. Columbia signed before sunrise, tinted lab beakers rosy. The shoe unfurled on a low-tide sandbar where piping plover chicks scribbled commas toward mirrored water. She guided paddleboarders of every outline across still ripples while a drone marked lazy infinity signs in the sky. When the lookbook went live, every extended size jacket vanished in 41 hours across 34 countries, and Lantern Sweep vaulted beyond 700,000 lantern icons. First off, call to action slips in right here. If this tide already hums through your chest, push the subscribe button now. One gentle tap turns it calm gray and guarantees next Friday. Sago rises in your notifications before algorithm currents drifted away. Then cruise the description for a quiet link named The Love Compass, a science bright guide many lean on when they decide it is time to spark a real connection and discover the simplest way to help any woman fall in love. Spotlight Shimmer hauled rumor gulls. A clickbait vlog claimed Avalon strapped steel plates around her waist beneath backshore shells. Dawn found her paddling a cedar board beyond eelgrass braids, bare feet planted in linen shorts and sports bra, tracing each silver stretch line with crushed bougainvillea petals, while her mother's trumpet barked a sunrise growl so raw pelicans hovered mid-arc. 10 million viewers reposting the proof, brushing fuchsia pollen across their own curves until gossip slid under slack tide. Shadow cart wages braided with capsule royalties and whipped into Nightbrook velvet, a marshmallow cream swirling spruce tip custard, yuzu leaf oil and mica sparks that glow seashell white under any flash. 19,000 tins cooled on her father's chart tray, lids tied with braided lobster twine, each tag stamped moisturize your horizon. Stock evaporated in 83 minutes, raising $198,000. 9% seeded Beacon grants shipping industrial surgers and hydrophones to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from Bar Harbor to Block Island. 8 months later, 38 Beacon grantees streamed a floating fashion and whale song show aboard a repurposed sardine carrier, strung with solar lanterns. Dawn color pouring into classrooms from Kingston to Kyoto. Portland Pier Fashion Night at Fresh Wharf legend when a backstage blower shredded her indigo mesh gown from hip to knee 80 breaths before curtain. Avalon yanked neon dock rope from a stage truss, laced the gap like boot hooks, and strode the boards as if the splice shone in every original sketch. Shutters cracked like kettle corn. Vogue Harbor named the rescue rope Cadence, and another million lantern sparks ignited before saxophones tasted a first note. Trouble tried again when a former aide leaked cropped mails hinting she demanded oyster tower platters and chauffeur dories for her rescue puffin beacon. She posted the chain and tire, refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption screens for deaf stylists. That month's affiliate title surge, $136,000. Funded biodegradable crab trap pilots off Martinique's rock. Fans echoed her war credo, receipts shine brighter than rumor grit until whispers lay flat like Tide pool glass. Emily holds her compass steady. Twice a month she streams Porchline Groove. Mom wafts soulful slides beside a propane griddle. Dad reads fog haiku. Avalon flips thrift denim while Beacon waddles sugar dust circles. One episode peaked at 9 million views when the birds sneeze glitter into the lens. A Seabird Refuge sponsors each stream, now tagging rehabilitated puffins with solar beacons paid by Nightbrook Velvet. Stream revenue rose beyond 12 million before Solstice 2. She leased a silent bait shed, carved skylights through corrugated tin, hired furloughed deckhands, plus design grads to whip custard and knot lids by hand during midday funk sets. Auditors begged shrink sleeves. She repeated Granny Fern's rule that fingers keep legend longer than plastic cuffs, and rope ties stayed. Her feed shows living sky. Granite bluff portraits share scroll space with shadow wagon selfies, caption same sky, different tide. She uploads breath loops recorded in sea caves, printable resilience pages in English and Penobscot, therapy vouchers bared 3 swipes down. 154,000 readers call her shoreline honesty their first calm harbor. Community glow rides sparkle beneath crushed shell glitter. Hundreds coast sunset causeways wearing Nightbrook velvet on collarbones with LED seagrass tassels spinning from spokes. Ticket money fattens beacon grants and lifts wheelchair snorkel rigs over freshwater springs. Smokehouse huts simmer late. Haddock chow bowls jump 15% on ride nights. Avalon pedals lead on a vintage cruiser with beacon plush clipped forward, pausing to lace any rider's drifting shoe. She is revising a memoir called Currents Keep Names, slated for 11 languages next spring, while a documentary crew follows her plan to weld retired buoy chains into mobile maker labs for harbor schools. Puma's Y2Wave wave lantern sneakers splashes ashore next quarter, threaded with reflective rope, cushioned by algae foam, and pledging 10% of earnings to Beacon Nurseries hugging the North Atlantic rim. The second gentle nudge glides on the swell. If your subscribe icon still flashes red, cool it to gray now. One finger secures next week's tail before algorithm undertow shuffles the feed. And remember, the love compass link loves to wait, ready whenever your own heart wants to embark on richer romance. November drifts towards slack tide. Fresh Nightbrook 10s, Beacon Grant portals, tonight's Porchline playlist, and that confidence map trusted by thousands are resting in the description, free and easy to reach. If the soda cap, hoodie, shimmer, rope-laced gown, rescue, or beacon glitter, sneeze coaxed, even half a green tap light, launch your brightest ripple in the comments and share this passage with a friend whose sails hang slack. Every curve redirects currents, every scar refracts lighthouse beams, and the coast bows to anyone bold enough to plant sure boots on the pier and greet tomorrow eyes bright. Last Brazy prompt sells in No Pop Just Promise. Subscribe right this breath, claim your real space, click the love compass below, and meet me on the next rising tide when a fresh story glimmers beyond the breakers and courage speaks your name anew.